In this episode, we head over to check out the hustle and bustle of a traditional Uyghur bazaar. Indulge yourself in a spot of fruit tasting and immerse yourself in the Uyghur culture here in Kucha. All this coming up on Travelogue.
Hey, any ideas where I am? No? Okay, let me tell you. We're currently in Kucha, which is right at the center of Xinjiang. And it's because of its geographical location that there's such a blend of mixed-race cultures and influences here. But on top of that, it's also its ancient history along the Silk Road that makes Kucha such a special, mysterious and magical place to visit. Anyway, let's go and check this place out. I'm Gareth Edwards. Welcome to Travelogue. Welcome to Kucha.
Tucked away amongst the sand dunes of the Taklamakan Desert, one of the world's harshest but most bewitching desert regions, you will find the small town of Kucha lying on the northern rim of the Tarim Basin. For many centuries, Kucha, located in an area known as the Western Regions, was an epicenter of Central Asian trade. It was here that the various trade routes of the Silk Road converged, creating a cultural melting pot that still dazzles even the most seasoned traveller to this day. Since the 9th century, the Uyghurs have been the majority ethnic group in Kucha. Here, it's no longer just about whether you dip your dumplings in soy sauce or vinegar, it's also how you want your mutton cooked. Eager to catch a glimpse of the hustle and bustle of a traditional Uyghur market, I head over to Kucha's bazaar. I've been told that although the bazaar is held every day, the best time to come is at the weekend.
Well, we've just made it to the bazaar, and as you can see, this place is totally alive. And it's on days like these, on the weekends, that thousands of people will swarm the streets of the old city and gather here in the bazaar. And just looking around, it seems like some kind of festival, but no, it's not. It's just a normal Sunday here in Kucha at the bazaar.
Here, you can buy pretty much everything, including a lot of strange things. So whatever you do, ask before trying something out, or you might embarrass yourself like I did. Or worse, you might even get a slap on the hand.
这个是丑艳的吗？啊？这什么东西？丑艳的？啊？是吧？
我娃的处理
啊？是吧？Right, okay, I was going to buy one of these things, which I thought was a smoking pipe, but I just found out that it's actually the receptacle where a little kid puts his, thingy inside and pees inside. Nice. Okay. I don't think I'm going to buy that. Oh, 谢谢。我不买啊，我不买。I don't think I'm going to get that.
People come from all over to sell and buy goods here, but that's not all the bazaar's about. It's also a chance for the locals to mingle, chat, and have fun over a bowl of tea or some food.
Well, as you can see, there's a lot of delicious foods that you can find in Xinjiang, and especially the naan bread you can pretty much find all over the region. But what's special in Kucha is that the naan bread is slightly different. Here, they actually make the largest naan breads in the whole of Xinjiang, like this puppy right here. Oh man, I literally want to eat that, but I haven't paid for it yet. So, 哎，你好，这个是多少钱？啊，是吗？嗯，可以买的。我可以看看吗？ Wow, so this is where they're making it here. This is where all the action is happening. Looks like these guys here are pretty much, I'm no expert, but it looks like they're pretty much done. Ah, 差不多做了吗？是啊。Look, we got one coming out now. Oh yeah. I love that one.
The plentiful sunshine, abundant supply of water, and variance in daytime and nighttime temperatures create the perfect conditions for growing fruit with high sugar content and great flavour. If you come here in September, I highly recommend that you put fruit tasting at the top of your list of things to do. You won't regret it.
Whoa! Yeah. Well, as you can see, we're currently in a traditional fruit garden in Kucha. And one fact that you might want to know is that on average, each Xinjiang person eats on average over 100 kilograms of fruit per year. And that's the highest consumption of fruit per capita in the whole of China. And just eating one of these grapes, juicy. You can see exactly why.
The grapes in Kucha are harvested at sunrise, and by nightfall, they will have reached their destinations throughout China, with some going as far south as Shenzhen. Coming up next, we hang out with one of Xinjiang's most successful knife-making families. Test out your moves by trying out one of Kucha's iconic dancers and join us for a stroll around the streets of Kucha's old city. All this right here on Travelogue. With Xinjiang bordering no fewer than 8 countries and the trade routes converging in Kucha, the old city has been left with a colourful array of stylistically different traditional Uyghur houses.
So, as you walk through the streets and hidden alleyways of the old city, you'll find a lot of traditional Uyghur houses have different stylistic features. And this right here is called Gao Tai Ming Ju, which means house built on an elevated platform. So in ancient times, Kucha was one of the main hubs along the Silk Road. And Kucha today is still at the center of Xinjiang. And what that means is that there was always a concoction of different cultures and influences residing in one place. And that can be reflected in the buildings themselves. Let's go and take a quick peek inside, see what it's like.
这个房子嘛，那个中间那一段是俄罗斯风格，一个俄罗斯塔塔做的那个风格。是吗？啊，中间这个方块这个石榴花、石榴啊，那些花吧是伊斯兰的风格。是吗？啊，是伊斯兰风格。啊，边边上周围的和那个墙角上那些嘛是汉族风格。是吧？啊，汉族风格。
为什么这里有俄罗斯的？
因为我爷爷呀，我外公他们嘛，经常跟那个口里啊到苏联那边做生意嘛，不是？啊。做生意时候嘛，他们那时候嘛思想嘛比较开放。啊。所以嘛，把那边的一些建筑的风格呀，都弄到这边来，专门考虑弄。啊。这个下面这个图案嘛，就是我爷爷的。哦，是吗？啊，这是我爷爷的照片。哦，哇。啊。 那个嘛是我外公的照片啊，也是30几年就在那个苏联那边照下的，哇，照的，
很有意思，很有意思。Wow, it's a real concoction of different influences and cultures just in one room. Amazing. Wow, 我们看一看。 The original owner of the house was a businessman bringing many products back from Russia and other places along the Silk Road. His descendants no longer live here anymore, but the house is open for tourists to visit. So, I'm trying not to get too lost whilst at the same time feasting my eyes on everything this place has to offer. I make my way around the atmospheric maze of narrow, unpaved alleys and high mud brick walls of the old city, and I just let my imagination run wild.
Well, the more I get to know them, the more I find that the Uyghur are a passionate people. And this passion can be found in the way they decorate their homes. Like in this room, for example, you find all different kinds of colourful flowers to liven up the environment. But one thing's for certain, they also like their quality of life. Their rooms are large, spacious, clean, just the way I like it. This one's got charisma, for sure. This one's more the serious type.
With Uyghur meaning unity in the local language, or people that enjoy coming together, it won't be unusual for you to see groups of people relaxing together and then connecting as a community.
Okay, so one thing that's worth mentioning is that Kucha is quite well known for some of its handicrafts, like hats and small knives. And down this alleyway, it's a family that's been making these small knives for generations. So we're going to pay them a quick visit. Well, this right here is a traditional small knife that you can find here in Kucha. And we're here to meet Ibrahim here, who's part of the family that makes these knives, and this family is supposed to be very well known, not just here in Kucha, but in other areas and regions in Xinjiang. 所以这个工作你做了多长时间了？
At the tender age of 14, Ibrahim's father travelled to Kashgar and underwent an apprenticeship in knife making. Afterwards, he started his own business and began making his own style of Kucha knives that are now famous in Xinjiang, rivaling even those of Kashgar.
你这也要做这个工作吗？
应该不会，因为我刚毕业回来的。这个是我们家族事业，我可以有时间可以过来帮忙嘛，去看工啊，或者在企业里面或者公司里面找工作。万一找不到我理想的工作的话，我可能出国深造留学什么的。我想学就是那个经济类的，还有金融类的那种比较赚钱的那种专业，我比较感兴趣的。
Ibrahim is keen to study abroad so that he can use his knowledge back home, and I can't help feeling a sense of admiration for his desire to grow the family business.
So this right here is the local Uyghur hat store. 哎，你好，这个是手工做的吗？手工做的。So all these hats here are handmade. And what I've heard is that during the winter they make these so that they're ready for this time of the year, which is the summer. 哎，这个呢是男的或是女的？男的。你觉得怎么样？维族人吗？一样的吗？一样的。哇。I've had a lot of people ask me whether I'm from Xinjiang or I'm a Uyghur. How do I look? Do I look Uyghur? No? Okay, fair enough. Right. 谢谢。
这我来瞅瞅。
瞅瞅。
等一下。这你也要带一个吗？来。漂亮的。好。
So we're currently 30 kilometers outside of Kucha in a small town called Chiman. And just ahead of us here is a gathering of farmers. And they're here to show us a local performance of the Uyghur dance called Mukam. And I can hear the music right now, so let's head inside.
Uyghurs have a rich tradition of storytelling, music and dance. Their dancing is elegant, full of twirling and delicate hand movements. Their folk songs cover the themes of exile, poverty and love, and also include some humour. The most prestigious and celebrated genre of Uyghur music is the Mukam, which was declared a masterpiece of the oral and intangible heritage of humanity by UNESCO in 2005. Interestingly, each region in Xinjiang tends to have its own style of Mukam. The Kucha style is referred to as Salaimu, and very few people know how to dance the Salaimu because it's so hard to learn. It's only in Kucha that you'll be able to see it performed.
Quite a funky dance. I'm pretty sure Michael Jackson stole his dance moves from these guys. I can't believe some of these guys are like over 80 years old and they're still dancing like spring chicken. Back-breaking stuff. It's definitely a funky dance. It's definitely my type of dance, funky. Not sure it's looking too good on camera though, but I'm having a good time. Who cares?
Join us as we head over to visit the second largest mosque in Xinjiang and meet one of the living descendants of the Uyghur royal family. All this right here.
Well, this right here is Kucha Wangfu, which is the old family Uyghur palace. And this place is well worth coming to because not only is it up to 200 years old, but actually it's from here that Kucha was governed. And I've heard that there's still a living descendant from the royal family. So let's go inside, see what it's all about, and if we're lucky enough, we might be able to bump into him. Come on.
They say that one of the best ways to get to know a city is through its museums. Well, the Kucha Palace certainly doesn't disappoint. Here, you'll come across ancient relics depicting Kucha's colourful past.
Right, so we're about to go meet the last remaining descendant from the Uyghur royal family, and the locals refer to this guy as the Kucha King, which is a pretty awesome title. Anyway, if you're coming here to visit, you can, but make sure you book 30 minutes in advance. Hey, 你好，你好，我们是中央台，我是主持人，我可以见王爷吗？可以吗？啊，是，谢谢。Yeah, we can go in. 好。 你好啊，不，认识你很高兴。我们是中央台，我是主持人。
这个王府以前的王府具有200多年的历史。
Sadly, the palace was destroyed during the 1940s. The local government began reconstruction work in 2004. Wang Ye's importance to this project is paramount, as much of the rebuilding is based on his recollections of the grounds and buildings. Wang Ye, 你有没有存家的照片吗？
有
啊，我能看吗？
可以，完全可以。
Unlike Wang Ye, who has led a very public life as an official, the rest of his family all lead an ordinary existence in Kucha.
这个很幸福的家，很大的。
Hidden away off a small street in the northern part of the old city is the Kucha Grand Mosque. This is a must-see site if you want to gain a real understanding of Uyghur life in its religious context.
So we're currently in the old town in Kucha, and one thing you should know if you come here is that over 80% of the population here are predominantly Muslim, which makes this place, the Grand Mosque, one of the most important parts in their daily lives. So let's go inside and see.
Wow, 这个建筑有多少年了
？1559年建的。1559年。这是以前就是几十个材料是原木结构的，400多年以前嘛，就是没有水泥，沙子、黄土、石灰、鸡蛋。
鸡蛋。
用了480万个鸡蛋。不用水，刚鸡蛋板鸡蛋成用了。
You won't believe this. They use over 280 million eggs and muds and bricks and wood to make this. Incredible.
就是花园的地方，就是不是水泥这个蛋蒸这个。这里样是锅灯的样子，锅油灯。这2个小门就楼梯。上面坐的杯子是这样脚汗，就是这个样子。Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
Originally built in 1580, when it was used as a religious court, the Kucha Grand Mosque is Xinjiang's second largest mosque after the Idka Mosque in Kashgar. During the religious festivals, the compound can fit around 10,000 people, 3,000 of which can fit in the prayer hall alone. Clearly it's a must-see site, and one that manages to attract seasoned travellers, like these Europeans, for example, who are touring around Xinjiang on their motorbikes.
What do you think about Kucha so far? About Kucha?
The culture, it's incredible. I mean, it's had such a rich and old culture. It's very nice to be here. I'm very much impressed. And for me, it's really to switch the knob, because if you come from the west and from here, you see so many things, so many heritage there is. And I find it very amazing that the Chinese people start to take care of their heritage. They take care of it. I mean, they make monuments and they protect it. And it's not only progress, but it's progress balanced with heritage savings.
Great. Well, and in terms of you're travelling by motorbike for the entire way along the Silk Road.
Yes.
So you started off at Kashgar, coming through Kucha, and then where are you going next after the mosque, obviously?
We go to Korla, and then Korla Turpan, and Turpan Urumqi.
The rise of the Silk Road 2 millennia ago resulted in a land rich with archaeological, cultural treasures and ancient relics, one of which we're about to see now. As I approach the Kizil Beacon Tower, I'm overawed by the palpable way it seems to emanate history. Dating back to the 3rd century, this lone structure used to be lit by Han Dynasty soldiers to send a warning of impending hostile incursions.
Standing here, I actually feel quite sad because it's hard to get a real sense of the kind of history that this structure has witnessed. I mean, for over thousands of years, this place was pretty much the hub of the Silk Road. And unfortunately, now it stands alone, but it's still a testament to time.
Standing in the vast desert expanse, facing nature and contemplating Kucha's cultural history, I feel a sense of awe. Nonetheless, this place is much more than just a mix of cultures brought about by the illustrious Silk Road. And in the next episode, I look forward to exploring an altogether different side to Kucha, one that bristles with enchanting landscapes, and one whose ancient history takes us back to the advent of Buddhism in China.